why the Pomodoro technique actually works, in my opinion. So the Pomodoro technique, or generally time tasks, has been a game changer for me personally. So whenever it gets time to do a task, now my habit is I will set the timer, and once the timer goes off, I will kick right into gear. It's like the countdown. You make a little countdown, 3, 2, 1, bang, you're in the zone. So when I found that when I don't set the timer, you won't be accountable for the work you're doing. So if you set aside an hour, for example, to do studies, if you don't set that timer, without even realizing it, your brain will actually start to be like, oh, I've done this, I've done that, oh, like, should I give up? I've done enough. You know, the ego will start to kick in. So you really need a measured time to remove that ego and to actually like hold you accountable to do the work. So yeah, it just changes the way that we do work. As I found myself doing that a lot. I was just saying, yeah, I'm going to do the work, but I wasn't setting a timer. I wasn't measuring what I was doing. And there's the saying that what's measured, if you measure something, that's progress. You can actually see the progress. If you're not measuring something, you're just guessing. And when you guess, and you leave it to your brain to guess, your brain will trick you. Like, it will try and do less. It will always try and do that less, you know? So like, for an example, I've given book recommendations to people before, like recently, and I've been like, oh, this is the PDF file, this is what it's about, you know, just all you need to do is just read it, just set aside a bit of time and read it. And then the next time I speak to them, it's like, oh, how you getting on with that? It's like, I feel like I'm their dad, like asking about them, like chasing them up. And they're like, oh yeah, I haven't started it yet, or oh yeah, I read a page. It's like, bro, it's not good enough. You need to like sit down and read. If you actually set the time, I would say to anybody, like, set the timer just for 5 minutes, even 5 minutes. Once that timer goes off, you read. Then do 10 minutes, and just over time, just increase your workload. But by setting the timer, you're accountable. If you don't read in that 5 minutes, sorry, what are you? You can't hold focus for 5 minutes to read a book. So, whereas if you set that timer, 5 minutes, the next day you might do 6 minutes, you know, gradually increase to a point where you could do half an hour or just a chapter a day, and like summarizing the chapter. And the key part as well is setting that timer, doing the work, but then having a small reward. So it might be, for me, I don't do it after every task. I know the Pomodoro technique is like, I think it's 25 and then 5 minutes rest. It's very structured. Like, I don't do it like that. I do a big task, and then I'll do something else, and then after I feel a bit tired, then I'll have my 5 minute rest, or I'll watch something like entertaining or something with my food. You know, like, or for me, like a 5 minute restaurant might be like checking BBC Sport for like 5 minutes, just checking something, not social media, but like just having a tiny break. But yeah, that's my key point, is just setting that timer. It just puts you in that zone, and the accountability you get from it it's a game changer, 100%.